We're back for another episode of The Space, a mindfulness podcast that's not like the others. I'm your host, Casey Donovan. Alongside Amy Malloy, we use every Wednesday to say a whole lot of yes. Mindfulness tips to boost your positivity. It's National Ex-Spouse Day. Yes, it's a thing. Inserted into the calendar 2 months after Valentine's Day, according to the publicity around it, this is a day to appreciate your ex. Or at least appreciate yourself for leaving them. Let's face it, resolving conflict with your ex can be testing. It's far easier to cut them out, but sometimes our lives are too entwined to do it. The good news? Mindfulness can make exchanges with your ex a little easier. One of the best ways to interact with your ex in a healthy way is by practicing mindfulness. This is according to divorce specialist Michelle Dempsey-Multack, author of the book Mum's Moving On. A big part of this is being in the present. Tip 1. Handle each conversation as it comes up, says Michelle. Focus only on the issue at hand and don't bring up old gripes or grudges. You never have to ignore an issue. But focus on one conversation at a time and one problem at a time. Issues are easier to handle in single file. It's easy to feel torn when you've still got one foot stuck in last week's conversation. Tip 2. Choose compassion over conflict, says Michelle. It might sound crazy, but it has real-world consequences. You don't have to completely empathise with an ex, but do try to understand where they're coming from. Try to have compassion for their feelings, says Michelle, instead of going on the defence. Here's a mindful trick. Try to see their day as the plot of a television show. Watch where they came from before your conversation. Watch where they're going afterwards. Remember, they have a whole life that's happening around them with its own stresses, challenges, and commitments, just like you do. Tip 3. Remember who you're doing it for. This is one for the co-parents. It may sound impossible, the idea of having to interact with an ex in a productive way. When it comes to co-parenting, it's the only way, says Michelle. We've got to add one last thing. You won't want to hear it. Do try to be grateful. Gratitude helps us to get over life's challenges. The research says so. Be grateful for the lessons. Be grateful for your resilience. Be grateful for the hoodie you inherited. National Ex-Spouse Day only lasts for 24 hours. You can always plot your revenge again tomorrow. I'm Casey Donovan, and this is The Space. Did you know we have an Instagram page just for you? Check us out at @thespace_podcast. We'll see you there. Space out.